We did it for my iPhone 5. Yeah, baby, you hit me up all night. See.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but posting TikToks that only like 300 people see and maybe like 9 people like is way cooler. It's giving like indie artist, not mainstream. You're committed to your craft. This is what I tell myself.
고고라고 제비였습니다. 고고라고 제비였습니다.
I learned how to make love from the movies. He found me waitressing at Ruby Tuesdays. He said I wanna buy you up, toss a white milkshake. I said I'll serve you up a special side of heartbreak. Special side of heartbreak. I was working down in the corner cafe. You would drive by in the Chevrolet. Whistle at me as my hips go sway. Lana Del Rey, how you get that way? How you get that
person. Maybe we have a bad connection. I'm sorry about that.
Will you tell me you're not a robot? Just say I'm not a robot, please.
I am a real person.
I'm going to be filling up this whole spread with little mini portraits. And here is the second one. Today we're drawing an old man. Why are old people so much fun to draw? It's probably because their faces look so much different than everybody else's faces. And like all the wrinkles and everything, it takes a lot of detail to draw. And I really like drawing faces that don't look like everybody else's face because I get bored, and especially when I have to pay attention to the details, I like really lock in, you know? Because it's interesting to look at. And I really want to make my drawing look as realistic as possible, but also as artistic as possible. And I feel like interesting faces can look super artistic, you know? It's hard to explain, okay? If you know, you know, alright? If you like my drawing, make sure to follow me on Instagram just in case TikTok gets banned. I post the same exact videos over there. And on YouTube too, and I'm gonna post long form videos on YouTube if you guys want some more tutorials. Thanks for watching!
I could be a good mother, and I wanna be your wife. So I hold you to my knife.
Sketch with me. What do you think?
Seems like I care too much.
Did you know Strathmore's thistle symbol is incorporated into every 400 series pad cover in some way, shape, or form? It may resemble our circular thistle logo, or it may be an interpretation of a literal thistle plant. Sometimes it's hidden, and sometimes it's obvious. Either way, you can be sure to find it on all of our green and brown pad covers. The thistle has been a symbol of excellence in art papers from Strathmore's early beginnings. In fact, the Strathmore name and thistle originated in the late 1800s when our founder, Horace Moses, visited the Valley of Strathmore in Scotland and was inspired by the beauty of the thistle in full bloom. The sight impressed him so much that he started using the name Strathmore and the thistle as a symbol of high-quality art papers.
grab your 400 series pad cover and take a look.
Here's every bullet journal theme I made this year and what they were inspired by. January was inspired by a denim jacket covered in pins and buttons, and of course the song Denim Jacket by Sammy Ray and the Friends. February was inspired by a Valentine's Day quilt. I referenced a bunch of real quilting patterns to draw all of these designs. March was inspired by retro ski resort advertisements. I love the limited color palette and the way that I designed all of the mountains in the background. April was of course Strawberry Shortcake. I love the iteration of Strawberry Shortcake from 2003, so that's what I referenced for these designs. May was mod fashion inspired. I wanted an optical illusion effect where the patterns on each of their dresses was the inverse of the background pattern. This is my favorite theme from this year. June was inspired by Bonnaroo because my boyfriend and I went to the festival this year, and I love all of the vibrant colors. July was inspired by the Paris Olympics. I had a lot of fun drawing some of my favorite athletes and tracking all of the sports that I watched. August was highly requested as Mamma Mia. My own spin on Mamma Mia by drawing all of these European-inspired painted tiles, which I carried from page to page. September was of course Groovy Chick. This nostalgic theme allowed me to reconnect with one of my childhood art passions, which was drawing fashion, and it's just so nostalgic to look at. October was Clue. I loved using the iconic color palette from the movie and the game to make these really cool spooky spreads. November was Global Village Coffee House. I loved using gouache paint for the first time in my journal for these spreads. And lastly, December was the Nutcracker. I thought the colors were so wintry and beautiful, and the silver gel pen really adds a sparkle on top. And that was 2024.
Tylko keine Islotwort for you.
Stop buying moleskins because this is literally the only sketchbook you will ever need. The pith, this is the Oblongo size, but I also have the smaller one in pink. I adore these sketchbooks. I think if you are a mixed media artist and you want something that is versatile, cost effective, sustainable, ecologically aware, handmade, gorgeous sort of handmade quality to them, professional looking, the Pith sketchbooks are the one for you. Not sponsored, however, Pith, if you would like to send me something.
Top 4 sketchbooks I'm currently using.
This is the one that I probably use the most often. This is my Ohuhu marker pad. This one is really great for using with alcohol markers. So another one that I've been using recently is this Etcher sketchbook. It is 100% cotton and it also has a cotton cover, which is pretty cool because they kind of encourage you to draw on the outside of it. And it's pretty good for mixed media, not just alcohol markers. This one is really fantastic. I could not recommend this one enough. This is a Sketch Bar marker paper sketchbook. It's called a mirror pad, and the most incredible thing about this one is that the ink does not bleed through the paper at all. You can see the drawing here on my paper has not bled at all to the other side. This is the only sketchbook I've ever used that does not bleed, and I don't know how they did it. It blows my mind. This final sketchbook is my Ohuhu sketchbook. This is just a standard sketchbook, and honestly, I think it works just fine with my markers.
Sketchbook Recommendations Part 1. As most of you guys already know, I love my Limelight sketchbooks. So many. Someone told me this kind is better, but when I checked it's just the same thickness with what I already have. The paper is smooth, perfect for pencil, pens and markers. Some things to take note though, the paper isn't white. It's more cream color and ink does bleed through. You can use paint with it too. Paper does buckle though, but if those don't bother you at all, I really recommend this sketchbook. Hardbound, so it's very durable. Only costs 200 pesos.
People have been asking what sketchbook I use. I've been using these Ohuhu marker pads for about 2 years now. This sketchbook is the best for using with alcohol markers. The markers don't bleed through the page like they do on regular paper, and it comes with this plastic sheet that you can place underneath your paper. So even if the markers do bleed through, they won't bleed onto the next page.
I do it over and over again. That's my life, over and 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 over. Let's go gambling. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it.
This is the oldest sketchbook I still own. This is a more recent sketchbook, and in this video I'm going to talk about making progress. First, I hope you all can tell that I really did start from zero. I am self-taught and I never felt talented. I simply made a lot of drawings. These ones are from the Zen monastery where I used to live. That's a long story for another time. I was also a substitute teacher once. Please, please, please don't tell my former students that Mr. K is on TikTok. The point is, I had to learn human proportions, perspective, and how to draw with confidence, all from making a lot of mistakes. I mean, just look at these color choices. Now, fast forward a few years and I am traveling in Spain. Another long, fun story. But here you can see I have a lot more creative control in terms of composition, color, and storytelling. I have some tips I can recommend for making the most of your time, so if you follow for more, I'd be happy to share them with you.
What happened at the girls' camp, Peppermint Patty? I finally saw the little red-haired girl that Chuck is always talking about. And you know what I did? I cried, Linus. I cried and cried and cried. Better give me my blanket back. I don't think I'm ready for this. I stood in front of that little red-haired girl and saw how pretty she was. Suddenly, I realized why Chuck has always loved her. And I realized that no one would ever love me that way. I started to cry, and I couldn't stop. I made a fool of myself, but I didn't care. I have a big nose, and my split ends have split ends. And I'll always be funny looking. And I think I'm gonna cry again. She's so pretty. She just sort of sparkles. I'll never sparkle. I'm a mud fence. I'm a plain Jane.
How I keep motivation to actually finish my sketchbooks. So firstly, I have this poster of a mildly threatening fish on my wall. That's fun. But a major thing actually is the size of the sketchbook, which is a huge factor because something like this is a lot more entertaining than something like this. As you can see, I also prefer using brighter colors just because I find something like this a lot more boring than something like this. Another way I love keeping sketchbook motivation is challenging myself with quantifiable goals. For example, challenging myself to draw 100 houses or 500 fish. So this way, my goals in practice will seem a lot more worth something because there is an endpoint in sight. This is an example of how I improve my art with this technique. Another thing is just to experiment with materials. Personally, I love doing mixed media and it keeps a lot of motivation. Lastly, just draw what you like. No one's really forcing you to draw anything that you don't like. Personally, I love drawing sea creatures and that's like what a lot of my pages are filled with. Okay, bye.
I'm walking down this road of mine, this road that I call home, so am I wrong? For thinking that we could be something for real. No, am I wrong? For trying to reach the things that I can't see. But that's just how I feel. But that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel.
Let me teach you how to draw SpongeBob. My bullet journal theme for this month is SpongeBob, so I've been having so much fun drawing a bunch of SpongeBob characters. So here's a quick tutorial on how to draw SpongeBob himself. The biggest thing to keep in mind with SpongeBob is that his body is not actually perfectly square. The top of his head is actually wider than the bottom. His arms and sleeves actually start up on his head, and his hands only ever extend a little bit past the bottom of his pants. His clothes are pretty easy to draw, but I feel like his face is where most people go wrong. If you're wondering how I drew perfect circles for his eyes, this is how I did it. The pupils of his eyes are actually closer together in the center of his face than they are in the middle of the actual eyeball. And always look at a reference picture for his nose because it looks different at every angle. One of the best ways to make SpongeBob look TV show accurate is by your use of line art. Not every part of his body is drawn with black line art. These are the only things that have black line art. Before you add any color, erase any of the extraneous pencil line and then grab all of your markers. I'm starting off with the yellow and doing his face first, filling in the general wavy pattern of his face with my yellow marker. I'm then going to go in with a green marker because the outlines of his face are actually done in a darker green color, and I think this is really what makes him look like he does in the show. So I'm taking one that has a flexible tip and doing a really wavy line around the outside, and of course also drawing in his holes. Filling in the rest of his body with color is pretty simple as long as you have good colored markers. And remember to do his smile lines with red. To me, drawing cartoons is all about looking at reference images and practicing the basic shapes that build up to the overall picture. And of course, you have to add some cute little flower clouds around him. And that is my tutorial on how to draw SpongeBob.
I've been seeing a lot of artists here on TikTok using the Talents Art Creation sketchbooks. I filled one of these sketchbooks from start to finish, so I thought I'd be able to give a good review on this. I had this sketchbook from 2021 to 2022, if you can't tell from the stickers. The thing that a lot of people don't like about this sketchbook is the paper color. It's kind of a warm tone, more on the yellow side. Some people don't like it at all, but honestly, over time you get used to it. The other thing is the thickness of the paper. This is 140 GSM. Most mixed media sketchbooks are 150 GSM. If you don't know what that means, it means the thickness of the paper. For example, watercolor paper is usually 200 to 300 GSM. The thicker the paper, the sturdier it is. I had so much fun with this sketchbook. I feel like the paper color was the reason why I was able to really enjoy it and not feel too precious about my sketchbook. It kind of helped me loosen up a little bit and just have fun with my art supplies. I definitely understand the people that did not like this sketchbook. The paper is not that thick. It's actually not really mixed media, even though it claims to be. I did use watercolors and gouache in this sketchbook, but the pages didn't warp that much. Overall, I think these sketchbooks are worth it, but only if you find them locally. They do sell a smaller size that's like a square sketchbook, so if you're really curious about this sketchbook and what it's like, maybe get one of those. I really do hope this brand makes different kinds of paper for their sketchbooks because this is so pretty. I love the color options and everything. I just wish the paper was white. That's really the only complaint I have personally. There are other brands out there that do sell different color sketchbooks, but they cost a bit more money. So it's understandable why these have become so popular. There's a lot of different sketchbook options out there. I've tried a lot of different ones, and funny enough, one of my favorite sketchbooks is not even an actual sketchbook. It's a notebook that they don't even sell anymore, which makes me sad. Remember that a sketchbook is a place for you to practice and have fun with art. It does not need to be high quality, but I think it's important for you to at least like the surface that you're drawing on.
The bats have left the bell tower. The victims have been red velvet lines. The black box.
This is it. This is the ultimate gouache sketchbook. It is the best I have ever used. It's this one, Arch's Travel Watercolor Journal. I can't believe I finished it. I'm distraught. I'm heartbroken. I had so much trouble learning gouache. It was really, really challenging for me. But I think a lot of my problem was that I just couldn't find the right media to paint on. It has been 2 years of me painting with gouache, and this is the first time that I feel like I got it. There are so many things I really love about this paper, but I think the main thing for me was being able to really water my gouache down, get it to a watercolor-like consistency, and have the paper sort of respond to it in the way that I expect, and then also at the same time, be able to handle multiple washes as I build up the opacity over time so that I can get both versions of gouache, right? Like in all of the sort of in-between textures that you want to be able to achieve with this medium. And you can paint on both sides. Like you can really get the most out of every single page. I really feel like I've tried everything. And at this point, I'm like, this is it. I really, really enjoy using this like incredibly different kind of paint that I've never been able to use before. And it's, I think, because of this sketchbook.
Boy! New art challenge. Show your first page in your sketchbook, your favorite page, your second favorite page, your weirdest page, your least favorite page, and a page where you explored a new style.
This is the best sketchbook. It comes in a bunch of different sizes. You can see I have them all. You can paint with pretty much anything you can think of in this sketchbook. You got watercolor. You got ink. You got pencil. Of course, gouache. And don't forget markers. This is the only one you're ever gonna need. You're welcome.
Can I say it? Just once?
Only if you wish to suffer.
Get over here!
Yeah, I'm swinging big dick energy. Yeah, my shawty's got them triple D. I stay crossing off my list. Got my money and my bitch. That's a check, 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 check.
Meet. I love Leon Kennedy.
I'm me again. It feels like it's been years.
Life is scary and dark. That is why we must find the light.
Going through and rating my old sketchbook. We love her. This cat really do have a double chin. Very fast kitty. I think this is the best thing I've ever done. I finally learned how to blend markers. Bless. Love this burp. I should have finished shading. We don't talk about the scratches, okay?
Coloring sheets are propaganda we all bought into, but the solution was in front of us the whole time. To start, we just need to scribble on a page until it's full. Use every color you have, and I swear if you stop to think for even a second, I'll turn you into this off-brand Lorax. We're gonna wanna make this quick because this isn't even the fun part. Now to blend and lighten it up, I'm gonna add a lot of water and a very thin layer of white. Now I might have overdone it, but I think that's okay. To give myself something real to work with, I'm just making these splotches of color bigger. See, like the blue stuck through here, so I'm gonna make that more prominent. And now get out your Sharpie, because this is a reverse coloring sheet. But of course, regardless of whatever kind of coloring sheet this is, we're going outside of the lines. And this little splotch of brown tells me that there's going to be a dog here. And of course, the red means that Rover found a play ball. So some of these are a lot more intuitive than others, but I'm going to have to get creative for some of these weird colors. First off, I think a few bees would be good for this yellow down here. And you can't have bees without flowers, but I am stumped by these two colors. Never mind, I got it. The purple was a shirt and the peach was a man's hood. Anyway, I'll say I could have handled some spots a little bit better, but overall, I'm into it, and...
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent.